guys for joining this Thursday afternoon for a very captivating topic to discuss. I'm Janine from ESCO Philippines and I am your moderator for today. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. May we request all to input their questions in the Q&A box found on your screen and you'll be queued in by your moderator. Important note, everyone will have a chance to win a special prizes. Just enjoy and interact. Of course, this event will be recorded, and then after the event, if you want to talk further, we can open a private channel for you. Just inform us and the sales in charge. As always, we value your feedback and concerns. Please fill out our survey, which should pop on your screen after exiting the webinar. And for more information, you may visit our website at esco.asia. Okay, so as you can see, with me as our panelist for this session. In a few, they will discuss how Class, Logitech, Zoom, and ESCO optimizes their strategies to adapt to the shift in the collaborative environment. So before that, let's have a quick introduction from them. Let's start with Japer, ESCO's Group Business Development and Marketing Manager. Hi, Japer.
Hi, thanks Janine for the wonderful introduction. So hi everyone, this is Japer. I head the marketing team in ESCO itself. So ESCO, what we actually do is that we are a audio-visual system integrator. So today we are really very happy to have esteemed guests from Zoom, Class, and Logitech. So I'll just pass it on to the next panelists.
Okay, we also have here Leslie, Class Technologies Head of APJ.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Leslie here from Class Technologies. So as Janine mentioned, I head the Asia Pacific and Japan region for Class. We basically provide a platform that supports the teaching and learning, training, development needs of both organizations and institutions. And we've been growing pretty quickly in the region, and look forward to sharing more with you guys as we progress in this discussion. Thanks.
Thank you, Leslie. We also have here Manny, Logitech Head of Channel Asia Pacific.
Thanks, Janine. Good afternoon, everyone. Manny here. I lead our channel's go-to-market strategy for Logitech in the video collaboration practice, the collaboration practice division of Logitech. I'm thrilled to be here. Really looking forward to engaging conversation.
Thanks, Manny. And also from Zoom, we have Sanjay, Zoom Asia's channel sales lead.
Thanks for the introduction, Janine. Hi, everyone. It's good to be here on this forum and looking forward to a nice interactive session. So I manage and I head the channel sales and partnership for Zoom in Asia. And we are committed to delivering happiness through innovation. So we look forward to this conversation.
All right, thank you guys. Now, so let's talk about something interesting nowadays. Help us understand the value of online corporate training because of the ever-changing and diversified workplace settings. Workforce collaboration comes in different forms these days. Workforce are becoming increasingly interdependent and connected with progressively globalized and international teams. Along with hybrid teams, become a norm, companies can no longer be limited to physical trainings if we are aiming for productivity in the long run. Okay, so with that, how would you guys envision a seamless corporate learning experience? Just Japer, anything you wanted to share?
Yeah, sure. So thank you, Janine, for the question. So okay, personally, how I see it is that I'll just talk about the past. In the past, when you talk about learning and things like, whatever the corporations are actually doing is that, everyone actually needs to come into a single location. And the thing is that, of course, there'll be some logistic issues and things like that, basically getting everyone together. So the thing is that, after COVID happened, what happened is that a lot of technologies has actually enabled people to not be physically there, but be there virtually. And of course, my other panelists, what they do have to offer will actually help to enhance your training experience to basically level up. So the thing is that I think how it should work is that basically it's supposed to be as seamless as possible, meaning to say, I have the flexibility to be either there in person or of course virtually, and I still get more or less the same experience and things like that. So gone are the days where I will need to check everyone's schedule, making sure that everybody's there, and of course some people they may not be feeling that well, and they may be physically not able to be there in person itself. But right now with technologies that we have, and we are actually going to share in this webinar itself, you can actually not be there. As in you can don't have your cameras on, but the thing is that you still get the learning experience. So yeah, Janine, that's all from my side.
Thank you for sharing that, Japer. Well, Leslie, Japer mainly focus on convenience and benefits, but is there something anything you would like to share for a seamless corporate learning experience?
Yep, thanks, Janine. Yeah, I think convenience and benefits are very important, right? I think, we have seen what's been happening. A lot of people are now using this opportunity that has come out from COVID to, start to kickstart the discussion about 4-day work week again, about better work-life balance, about hybrid learning, about the high flex model. So essentially what Japer mentioned about flexibility to come online, or flexibility to come into the classroom if you need to or you want to, right? But actually these things are not new, right? Even we look at pre-COVID times, there were distance education programs, there were MBA programs where a lot of the learning teaching takes place online, and then they have physical meetups at certain periods of time, or maybe once a year they go down to the campus in the foreign country and get together. So it's not new. But I think what COVID has done is really expedited and made it more urgent for everyone to recognize the value of hybrid and high flex. And that is important because going forward, right, if we look at the corporate learning experience, employees are very much focused on, what the value it gives to them, right, in order to balance not only their work performance, but also to balance their capability building. And this is an ongoing process. We know that more and more, it is getting harder and harder to keep abreast with new information, new knowledge. So having this hybrid high flex model really makes it a lot more efficient for employees to be able to balance that work obligations with their knowledge building obligations. Thanks, Jenny.
All right, thank you for that, Leslie. So Manny, Leslie mentioned and recognized the value of hybrid. Would you share something?
Yeah, that's the key point, Janina. Hybrid, I think, is the key point that I would refocus. First of all, I think we can all agree that the pandemic has brought out changes in the way we work and learn that will remain long term, right? It was there before, but it has speed tracked the transition into a hybrid learning, what we call as blended learning or hybrid learning, a method of teaching that integrates video conferencing technology, digital media with traditional instructor-led classroom activities, which pretty much gives the participants more flexibility to customize their learning experience. Let me maybe elaborate a bit more on this topic. We look at it in a three-pronged manner. We kind of break it down into three areas. The room setup. I think that's the important part of it. The first place to start when organizations are looking to set up an effective hybrid learning environment in a collaborative system, ensuring all parties can hear and see each other clearly, similar to what we are doing right now. We as a panelist and our participants are able to hear us, learn from us and so on. The second will be the essential instructor tools to equip instructors with unique solutions that lets them use tools like whiteboard, for an example, for a more natural experience. And lastly, the remote participants, the participants that are dialing in, and that could be participants from your work from home or from different sites, Central to making hybrid learning work for everyone is equipping report participants with the solutions they need to just feel as much of part of the learning as the in-class peers. Trying to get as much of a natural experience in this hybrid world of learning is going to be crucial and important. And that's where, Logitech, we come in and look at a solution that really works for an organization, starting all the way from the rooms, equipping the instructors, as well as participants or your employees who are dialing in from different sites. Thanks, Jenny.
Okay, thank you, Manny. All right, Sanjay, Manny mainly focused on the importance of the importance of room setup. Is there anything you wanted to add? How would you envision a seamless corporate learning experience?
Sure, I think the key focus which all my panelists are all alluding to is it's seamless, it's corporate learning and it's experience, right? One of the first things we learn about being in corporate is the most constant thinking is a change. Right. And the whole COVID, the whole pandemic has brought around certain changes, which is going to be, which is here to stay in our behaviors and the way we adapt to it. Right. So the experience is very important. It has to be an experience that is consistent with both offline and online participants. And at the same level of engagement, it should be applying to regardless where the participants are at, whether they are in offices or they're in home spaces. Right. I think that one is very important. And in our own experience, we've seen a lot of enterprise customers who have implemented Zoom rooms, for example, to help bridge the gap between online and these offline experiences. Some examples like the Super App in Singapore, the National Australia Bank in Australia, and certainly, apart from conducting meetings in these Zoom-enabled facilities, I think corporate trainings can take place seamlessly along or across different setups, geographies, and the audience size with the right innovation technologies to complement Zoom platforms. Some of these technologies like Logitech and Class Solutions make this whole experience very seamless. And we are quite excited to work with our partners on this.
Thank you, Sanjay. Okay, so Leslie, Japer, Manny, Sanjay shares a lot of convenience and benefits of these solutions. This supports the value of online corporate trainings. Therefore, companies like Class, Logitech, and Zoom are optimizing their strategies to adapt to the shift in the collaborative environment. Japer, could you elaborate how do this solution helps the employees reach their full potentials at the workforce, or at the workplace?
Sure, Janine. Okay, so as what I mentioned in my previous answer, to the first question itself. So basically, I would say, it's all about how you can optimize the current setup that you have right now. So, with the new technologies and everything that is available right now, and I think a lot of organizations can actually help to cut the cost down in terms of this. So, gone are the days where you actually need to gather everyone in a single place. So you see, the thing is about gathering everyone at a single place is it's not only about arranging the timing to fit everyone's schedule. You have things like rental of the space. If in the case where your office is not big enough, you actually need to rent like a ballroom or a seminar place somewhere else. That's going to be rental at your site. So that's one thing. The other thing is basically to like fly in trainers, for example. You want to get like specific trainers to actually come in, and flying in a person, it's definitely going to be costly because first thing first, air tickets, you have to provide accommodation, lodgings and all. So the thing is that all this actually adds up. So the good thing is that I would say that with the existing technology that we have, and of course it's just going to improve as time goes on. What I can foresee is that it cannot really fully replace a face-to-face kind of experience, but what I can say is that it's close. It's the closest that we can get right now with whatever our other panelists will be sharing as well. So I believe the products and services that Logitech, Zoom, and Class will be able to work hand in hand, to provide a unified and collaborative, flexible experience for everyone. So yeah, thank you, Jenny.
All right. So Sanjay, Japer mentioned the specific flying trainers and its cost. What is your insight with this?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that, Janine. Organizations choose to adopt online corporate training solutions to ensure that their employees have the essential skills they need to carry the jobs effectively. Enabling this business is to evolve and to develop. And I think with communication platforms like Zoom, we make interaction possible with virtual participants as well. So in fact, we've already seen how Zoom has supported the world with its education-related needs. For example, Zoom has several features for Zoom meetings that can help enhance the teaching as well as learning. These also apply to corporate training needs. So let me give maybe a few examples, right? For example, we have this tool called the focus mode. So this is developed from an educator feedback, in fact, and this mode allows the instructors to see all the participants' videos while only allowing the participants to see their instructor. So this is very ideal for reducing distraction, for example, and promoting educational equity by helping the participants feel comfortable. I find this tool extremely powerful. The other one I would talk about is the breakout room enhancements. So we are currently working on a variety of options for breakout rooms to make content sharing easier, provide more options for room assignment, and enable educators to understand the activity within these rooms and each room. And finally, the polling and quizzing, which is something that soon educators will have even more options for setting up polls to help with quizzing and provide a greater interactivity, right? So these features are pretty much those that can also be used for corporate trainings as well. Over to you.
Okay, another question, Sanjay. Sorry. Can you guys expand our learning on how Zoom solutions help?
Sure. So for us, right, a successful corporate training program, one that has access to a business stakeholders' need, offers the most cost-effective and quickest way of transfer knowledge through synchronous or asynchronous e-learning courses or a blend of both, right? So as soon as you assess the training needs from your learners, you will need an online learning platform like a modern LMS to build and implement your online corporate training program. And that's where Zoom and Class comes into play, right? And then you use technology like Logitech Bar, the Ready Bar, that trainers can use the Zoom Room Smart Gallery feature to create individual video feeds for in-room participants, providing remote learners and trainers with a clear view of each and every participant. So we are currently also enhancing the Smart Gallery to enable on-location and remote participants, trainers to be represented equally on the screen and with other participants. So this, what does it do? It actually provides you with a more inclusive meeting environment, which is something that is important. Remember, again, it all boils down to the whole experience that we started with. The other feature which is very powerful here is the Zoom Whiteboard, which is a very powerful virtual hub for real-time and asynchronous collaborations. So it creates more engaging and efficient meeting experiences. So for example, any team from enterprise to education, they can use the Zoom Whiteboard experience to create, annotate, and share ideas from any device, whether you're in the Zoom meeting or not. And lastly, and this feature, especially in the context of where we are in Asia, right? People look at Asia as one location. We are very diversified, multilingual, multi-language, multicultural. The live translation and the transcription feature that we have is very powerful because we are committed to removing the barriers of effective and dynamic communication. And as part of this commitment, we are also planning to extend the Zoom's automated transcription to now 30 languages and add live translations to 12 languages this year. Live transcription and the translation feature will create an endless learning opportunity by bridging the communication gap across language barriers. We know Singapore is very popular, for example, as a regional hub in Asia Pacific, and this feature falls right into that. So our new feature, the new translation feature, allows meetings to be translated between English and any of the 10 languages or from these languages into English. And it basically helps provide inclusive meetings where everyone can participate. I hope that answered, Janine.
Thank you, Sanjay. All right. So Leslie, Sanjay mentioned class. Could you elaborate how this solution helps the employees reach their full potential at the workplace and how it helps?
Sure. So maybe let me share a bit about my personal experience. So I have been working remotely for close to probably 18 years. So I was ahead of the curve in terms of all this hybrid, high flex and remote working, even before COVID. And during that time, right, I've gone through, of course, many training sessions with the companies that I worked for, and it wasn't ideal. Simply because the technology stand basically was a bit more passive in the way they push courses to employees and in the way you engage with the material. And also, I think in terms of the way the courses were designed back then, right, pedagogically, it didn't really focus on a lot of interactivity and engagement. So with what we have today, I think it has opened up a lot of opportunity. Number one, right, in addition to what Mani mentioned earlier on about the three main considerations to really utilize these technologies, right? In addition to that, course design is another very important factor. Trainers need to consider when they are developing a course for the hybrid environment, how that structure should be, how the content, the media that they use, how should those be integrated into the course such that it makes sense for both users who are online and also those who come face-to-face in the classroom. So with Class Technologies, what we have done is that we have built a platform that not only provides that ability for users to connect visually as well as through audio and video like Zoom, because we are built on top of Zoom, but we have built in a whole set of capabilities focused specifically on teaching and learning and engagement that makes it easy for trainers to flexibly deliver any type of content and not only deliver different types of content, but also be able to target their learners based on their interests. So I think that's one of the considerations as well. When you look at optimizing the potential of the employees in the workplace and you want to build up their capability in your training sessions, you need to ensure that you are really reaching out to these learners in a manner that they can relate to. And Sanjay brought up a good point about Zoom's breakout rooms. And what we have done with Class is that we have exploited what Zoom provided around the breakout rooms and allowed trainers to share different types of content to each breakout room. So that really increased the flexibility as well as allow the trainers and the teachers to target different groups of learners, whether it's based on skill level or based on interest level. So for example, if you were in a manufacturing company and you are talking about Six Sigma, right, application, you could have different groups focus on different areas of their focus, right? Maybe one is in the facilities, one is focused in the whole manufacturing process itself, and get them to discuss about how Six Sigma is applied in those different environments, right, by having different case studies and different content. So that flexibility in the technologies is critical because at the end of the day, I mean, we all know technologies don't really solve problems, but it's the people who solve the problems and the people who create the technologies and use it and apply it in the relevant manner that allows them to really engage their stakeholders. And that's how you can help your employees reach their full potential when you increase the engagement, because that is a very important factor when it comes to training.
Correct.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you, Leslie. Mani, Leslie and Sanjay mentioned the importance of rooms. So can you share something on how this Logitech solution helps the employees reach their full potential and at the workplace?
Absolutely. I think that's actually one of the top of the mind in many of the CIOs and organizations at the moment, Jenny. How do we unlock the true potential of the workforce? I think that Sanjay and Leslie and Japer has been mentioning a lot of the keywords: human experience, connection, right? And that's where our products, we focus on. We work with Zoom or Class to really enrich the experience that our customers get and Zoom's customers get. And the way we do it, for example, if I talk about room, we have, Sanjay brought in very, very good point. If you're an instructor in a room, obviously delivering to remote participants, you want to see the human sort of touches, right? You want to see how they react to the message that you have. You want to see the curiosity in your students. How do you do that? We do that by enriching the human experience with the video cameras. For remote participants who are dialing in, you use 4K camera similar to the one that I'm using now. You should be able to, sort of see my human emotions in this way. And for the instructor, for the participants who are looking into the instructor, we want them to have a human connection. So when the instructor who is kind of, let's moving around the room, our Rally Bar Mini, our products have, speaker tracking, which means that you're actually tracking your speaker. So you are able to connect with them in a one-on-one manner, even they are going to be in a small room, huddle room, or a big room, or even in a big theater. When, those are the experience that we focus on, active speaker, as well as for participants. And also more importantly, Sanjay touched base a little bit about how Zoom has this incredible technology for virtual whiteboards, right? But if you're an instructor, sitting in a room, you want to go old school and use like a whiteboard, a traditional whiteboard. We have a product like Logitech Scribe, which is actually a virtual sort of whiteboard. Our AI features in the product allows both for folks that are sitting in the room as well as remote participants to clearly see what is being brainstormed, what is actually being in the whiteboard, and so on. So we are trying to look at both from an audience point of view, both who are in the classroom, as well as people who are actually dialing in from remote, as well as instructors, to have the human emotion, human experience on both ways, to fully take advantage of what Zoom has, fully take advantage of what Class has. So it's a collaboration that we actually come together as a seamless solution to offer a great human experience at the end of the day.
All right, thank you for that, Manny. Thank you for that also, Leslie, Japer, and Sanjay. Thank you for sharing what we know as an industry. Now, we're getting close to an end of this session. Can you guys share something on what is your take on the future of online learning and beyond? Sanjay, if you can start.
Thanks for that. Well, my fellow panelists have shared so much interesting insights. I think we mostly covered a lot of it, but let me just start by saying that we have entered a new era where improved customer experience translates to more sales, lower customer churn, and increased customer retention. Right? We all keep hearing about the great resignation, right? So it is not just for outside. When I talk about churn, I think we also have to look at internal chain, equipping our sales team regularly with the right training tools and providing a consistent quality of training. So organizations will have to choose to adopt to online corporate training solutions to ensure that their employees have the essential skills that they need to carry out the jobs effectively, right? So for example, I have joined Zoom about 2 months ago, and it was a very different industry. I was with Intel for the last 15 years. But the level of corporate training, online training tools which were offered to me helped me, get up to speed in literally no time at all. And so it helps in creating much more confidence in the employees, employee retention, more tools and consistency. Moving forward, what can be expected? I think Zoom will definitely be there to help maintain business continuity by providing a solution that is flexible and is able to adapt to changing environmental needs. Who knows what happens next, right? What we don't know, we don't know. And should we need another scenario that requires the workplace to change their mode of collaboration, the right solutions would have already been in place to address that. So the future is bright, and we hope that we are all rightly equipped for that. As my fellow panelists mentioned, people solve the problems. Technology is a tool. So let's all continue to work to adapt and evolve and improve ourselves as we move forward.
Yes, I totally agree on that. All right, thank you, Sanjay. Leslie, can you share something?
Well, thanks, Janine. Thanks, Sanjay. So I think Money raised a very good point, and it's basically what we all were alluding to as well, right? We talk about humanizing the experience, and that's critical, especially for for us class where we are focused on training, development, teaching, learning. Like the company itself, has a lot of people who came from the edtech space. So myself, I was with Blackboard, which was an LMS provider, and then with Instructure, and then so been involved in training development for a long time. Like, and consistently, right, regardless of how technology evolves, and from LMS, and then they have conferencing, synchronous technologies, and then now people are looking at taking a step further and potentially applying holographic interactions, right? A lot of all these technologies are going to be evolving faster and faster. But it's important that regardless of how fast the technology moves, we need to maintain the human behind it. I mean, how many of you have experience using, going to a website and then engaging with the bots online in that website, or going through an IVR system when you try to call the bank or a telco? Many times, personally for me, I get frustrated halfway through that process before I even reach the customer service officer. That's because it lacked that human engagement. And that applies a lot in training as well. And with Plus, the way we have designed the platform is we focus a lot on the engagement and the interaction. And I think in terms of what the future is going to bring and what Plus envision the future to be, is going to be more about incorporating technologies that continue to enhance that hybrid high flex model. But at the same time, focus on the interaction and focus on the engagement that will allow both the trainers and the learners and all the stakeholders to have a better integrated life right between their their work, their training, and their family. So I think this is important to maintain that human side of whatever technology we are evolving to. That has to be the number one consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Hi, Manny. What is your take on the future of online learning and beyond?
That's a very interesting question, Janine, and I think I want to reiterate what Sanjay mentioned in his, because I think we are very much aligned, and I think it's an important topic at the moment. The pandemic has speed-tracked new ways of working, especially hybrid working. E-learning is at the forefront of it now. But now organizations must focus on recreating a culture of continuous development, flexible learning to mitigate the risks of hybrid working. That brings in the risks of hybrid working as well, right? That's at the forefront of many of the L&D departments, CIOs. Closely related issues like employee retention, employee engagement, I think is also important. Productivity and strategies are going to be, that's going to be at the new era of e-learning and remote or hybrid work. But what is the future? It's a transformation. It's an ongoing transformation. But there are, Zoom, Class, Logitech. We're all talking about what products and solutions we have to enrich this transformation. But there are various outside factors in there as well. I think when I look at in Asia, specifically talking about Asia, there has been so much investment by government, for example, to speed track digital transformation, improving internet performance. These are the kind of things in domains such as education, healthcare, enterprise, government sectors, among others, that will contribute to the rise of demand of advanced video communication, solutions in the region, adoption of more of this from an enterprise e-learning perspective. But in Logitech, we will continue to innovate products that will enrich this experience, that will work seamlessly with our partners like Zoom and with our partners like Class, for example. One of the latest products we rolled out, Logitech. This is specifically for your remote workers, but it's seamlessly integrated with Zoom. It first of all makes your entire workspace in your home clutter-free. It's all in one device. And it's going to make seamlessly connecting with Zoom, for example, an easy way to dial into your meetings, easy way to have a great audio quality among other things, video quality in there as well. So we are going to continuously sort of see, we are at the forefront of this. Logitech has always been a very innovative organization. We always number one with a lot of technologies that we do. We work very closely with Zoom in a lot of manner to release, to look at where the market is going, how we are obviously evolving that market and be at the forefront of it. So these are, things that we will continue to be at.
Perfect. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Leslie and Sanjay. Japer, can we have your insight on what is your take on the future of online learning and beyond?
Sure, Janine. So I mean, all my other panelists, they speak really broadly about what the different futures would be like. So maybe for me, what I'll actually be sharing would be more from a technology standpoint. So the thing is that personally, I think that VR is going to be a really big thing. So and there's a lot of very, very big companies that are actually investing a lot into this space right now. So of course, one of the biggest one is Meta. So if you don't know who Meta is basically Facebook rebranded. So they actually rebranded themselves and they called themselves Meta. In fact, they actually bought one of the biggest VR headset company in the world called Oculus. So and they have been running a lot of tests. So in fact, I think just 2 weeks back, they actually did a study where they actually got people to a few of their employees to actually experience what life is in VR for a week. So there was a bit of research. There was a person that couldn't take it within a few hours and things like that. And of course, there were others that managed to make their way through. So the thing is that VR right now, honestly speaking, is still at its infancy. But the thing is that how I'm seeing it is that because for example, what we are doing right now, it's we still can communicate with each other and things like that, but it's not like what it is when as per if the person is actually right beside you. So the thing is that I think that's a space that definitely would have more traction going on. There's a lot of research coming on to that space as well. So of course, with crypto being another thing, there's things like digital land. People are purchasing digital land and things like that. Who knows, maybe your next company, you will not even have a physical space. It could be like a virtual online space kind of thing as well. So the thing is that how I see it, it's definitely going to move into that direction, unless of course there is teleportation. If teleportation actually becomes something real, then what I can say is that all this technology that we are talking about right now, it will not really be very, very ideal, because the thing is that a person can actually just beam themselves over physically and be there in person with another person and things like that. But of course, whatever I'm saying right now, it's not something that is going to happen like within the next 3 to 5 years. I am expecting it to be at least minimally 10 years and further, to be honest. So the thing is that right now, definitely with the existing technologies that we have, and Class, Zoom, and what Logitech actually has, I personally feel that this is definitely taking it to the next step. And of course, all three of them, they will definitely be working to improve their product offerings and services as well. So thank you, Janine.
Thank you, Japer, for sharing those future technologies. So now I think we can move on to our questions from our attendees. Are you guys ready? All right. So we have one question here from someone. Are there tools or setup, hardware or software, to support two-way interaction in a training? Okay, I think Manny can answer this. Or
yeah, I mean, yes, we do. From a hardware perspective, we have products, as I've been saying, for two-way communication is crucial in a learning things. Like, for example, right now, we are obviously we have products that actually have cameras, which gives you the right experience. And as I mentioned, if you're dialing in from home, products like Logitech, our Brio camera has great both video and audio features for you to ask questions and interact with your colleagues or mutually within the team or with your participants. So yeah, we definitely do.
Okay, thank you for that answer,
Yeah.
Manny.
And if I may just add on to that. So I think
Sure.
from the class platform perspective, I mean, definitely with the synchronous technologies available, it is two-way interaction. But I think when we look at training, right, specifically to training, training intervention is a very important point. And trainers need to know when a learner needs help, when they need to intervene and have the right intervention strategies in order to help those learners that are falling behind. So with the way class designed the platform, I think it offers a lot of dashboard and insights, which is another critical point for technologies that are evolving. Right, being able to provide more insights to the trainers on what's happening with the class, what's happening with the students, allow the trainers to better interact and engage with the students should students or learners need more help. So that's another critical thing to consider. Thanks.
Right. So we can proceed to the next question. How can we ensure that the trainee or employee has fully grasped the learnings that discussed during the training? Okay.
Maybe I can just take a short go at that. I think there are a lot of new interactive tools and features that are being implemented on the Zoom platform and also working closely with class. And you can see things like polling and quizzes, which is now being implemented. I think some of those are very interactive. The breakout rooms, and not just having multiple breakout rooms, but being able to manage these multiple breakout rooms are also a very efficient way to start managing how these are going. I've seen some of the amazing demos that the class platform has, and probably I can ask my fellow colleagues to talk a little bit more on that, or my panelists to talk more. I think Leslie, you might be a bit better to give some specific examples of how you guys are doing that using the platform in class.
Yep, sure. Thanks, Sanjay. Yeah, I think when we talk about learning outcomes, right, you want to ensure that employees, that trainees are actually grasping the knowledge. There are many ways to do that. I mean, for one, of course, incorporating a formative assessment throughout the course allows you to, at every milestone, identify whether your learners are falling behind or they are ahead, or basically they understand everything that is being taught to them. But that is no replacement for how they are able to apply that knowledge in the workplace. Right? At the end of the day, I think the caveat is that regardless of how well and how good the training platform is, it still boils down to how the learners are able to apply that knowledge in the workplace. Right? So when we look at the platform itself, besides these dashboards that provides insights into how learners are behaving, how learners are perceiving the content, whether they are engaged, I think the formative assessment is one key assessment point. But in addition to that, many trainers have designed courses in a manner that allows users to interact in different ways. So for instance, even leveraging the breakout rooms in Zoom and leveraging the tools that class built on top of the breakout rooms for groups of learners to go into that room, discuss practical case studies that would require them to apply the knowledge they've gained so far in the course. I think those are all ways that a good trainer who is able to design a course well will understand how to put in this sort of evaluation points throughout the whole course, whether it's over 1 day or 2 days or 3 days or a week, right? And identify whether the learners need more intervention, need more support, or the content is just too slow for them.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie and Sanjay. Sanjay, we have a question here from Febby. Do you want to answer it live or?
Oh, yeah, sure. I was typing it, but I can probably talk about it.
Let me read it.
Yeah, I've got the console right in front of me. So
Okay.
Fabi, thanks for that. And so, you know, Zoom is constantly evolving and innovating. And in fact, you know, if you search for it, Zoom has just launched its latest platform. It's called the Zoom One, which again provides a lot of our Zoom features in a single collaborative platform. And we would be continuously evolving as we move forward. We talked about the new features like the live translation, adding more language support, etc., into the overall platform. And as you see moving forward, this will continue to evolve. We will also be launching like the Zoom Contact Center very soon in the Asia Pacific region. So you will start to see even more platforms emerging from Zoom, and we will continuously work towards being a video-centric platform company.
Thank you for your answer, Sanjay. Another question here is, how do you think if there is a need for a face-to-face training anymore? After the rapid improve of technology and the benefits provided, will it take over fully for face-to-face training?
So maybe I will take that if you guys don't mind. So first of all, I think during the initial discussions with my fellow panelists, we did mention that online training will never fully replace face-to-face. I think that's the view that we all share. And there are a number of reasons for that. Regardless of how technology improves, like a face-to-face personal engagement where you can really read subtle body language, really feel the presence. I think all those are sometimes emotional needs that will never be replaced in an online environment. But having said that, the online environment is not going to go away because it also has very, very strong benefits. For instance, when you look at equity of training, right? You want it to be accessible to everybody. And not only that, you want the quality to be delivered in the same consistent manner to everyone. Like when you do training face-to-face, so one of the constraints is that you may have a trainer who's very good and available in this country at this time, and not everyone can attend. And for those who aren't able to attend, they may not get access to that fantastic trainer, and thus they may feel that they're at a disadvantage. But whereas when you have that online training, it means that people can essentially attend from anywhere, anytime in the world. And that makes the whole training quality more consistent. In addition to that, of course, with online training, the ability to have certain information that is stored, maybe reading materials and that are well constructed, all these would be consistent in quality, and every learner who accesses those materials will be accessing the same type and same quality of materials. So really the online training and face-to-face, I think it will only continue to be better integrated rather than one versus the other. So the technologies that is going to evolve will focus more and more on how that seamless experience from a face-to-face to an online and vice versa, how that experience is going to be, rather than making one more compelling than the other.
If I may follow up on that, that's a great answer, Leslie. And I think, I would echo the same as well. It's not one or the other. I think it's going to be hybrid in a lot of manner. But that is also going to unlock a lot of new opportunities, right? Instructors at the moment, we spoke about we touched base on that a little bit at the earlier part of our discussion. Instructors could be literally anywhere right now. Taking away the time zone, and the participants could be from anywhere from your organization as well, dialing in. So you're going to unlock. It's going to also unlock new potential of how the corporate learning and training is going to look at. So yeah, we believe it's going to be a combination of both. Hybrid learning or training is going to be the norm, but it'll all come down to each individual organization setup. But we believe it's a hybrid is there to remain.
All right, exactly. Thank you for your answer, guys. Well, I think we have covered their questions. Attendees, are there any questions? You feel free to to type your questions in our Q&A box. All right. So I think we've covered all your questions. Dear panelists, are there anything you wanted to cover for a wrap up? Okay.
Thanks for pulling us in, Janine. It was a great session. Great, great collaboration. Thanks for organizing all of this ESCO team. You've been a great partner for us, not in the entire Southeast Asia. Obviously, working very closely with Zoom and Class. I enjoyed the session, so thank you for arranging it, and thank you for bringing us all in.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, and thanks to my fellow panelists as well, and thanks to everyone who attended the session. Hope it's been helpful to you guys.
Yeah, so I mean, in closing, basically, you heard what everyone actually has to share and things like that. So, if it's something that you would like to explore for your organization, please feel free to reach out to us.
Yes. All right.
Awesome.
Sanjay.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you all
Thank you
for
all.
attending. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Manny. Thanks, Sanjay.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Japer. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.